I'm gonna be the very best, like no one ever was.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of both Pixelmon and Let's Build. Here at Sugar Packer Gaming, in anticipation of our special 100th, we are putting out a new kind of long distance series here in which we're going to try and record our own server. Try and record us building our own server. And of course, we've got Pixelmon in mind, which is why we're doing it both Pixelmon and Let's Build series. But we're starting here to see we got the super flat world, and our idea was to recreate Hoenn. As you know, at the end of our own Pixelmon series, we tried to get out into Hoenn, and we did find one working server, but it just didn't quite have the same feel as the one we were looking for. We appreciated what the Pokeballers did with their Kanto, and we were looking for something that had Hoenn rebuilt like that, and just it wasn't there. So using our own gaming channel, we're going to show you from beginning to end what it's like to do just that, to build up a server from scratch, a Pixelmon server from scratch. So it's got everything that you could ever want in it. And here, let's go through some of the things that we're going to talk about. Okay, as I said, we're going to try to do Hoenn for us. So, as always, I'm kind of the lead guy for building stuff. I know that Jeremy really likes to do some building, and I'm hoping to get him involved as much as possible. But since I'm the Let's Build and, server showcase, this is our server thing. Everything, so Server Packet Gaming will be done, and as you can see, we're going to try to redo Hoenn. Hoenn is mostly done. Well, I'm going to say mostly. It's a lot of water when we're talking about Hoenn. As you can see, we've got islands, we've got sea coasts, we got all sorts of things like that. We do have quite a bit of land area to go, but it's basically one big island, Australia, if you will. Some of the first things that we need to talk about is, as you saw, I was on a super flat world. One of the reasons we want to do that is because it gives us a lot more control over how do we build it up. Where's the holes? Where's the water? So it's just going to give us a lot of creativity license there. After that, we're going to get into configuring the Pixelmon CFG file that's going to say what Pokemon gets to go where. So it's going to help us be specific as far as what routes have what Pokemon and things of that nature. We're going to mark out the rough distances. We're going to try to keep it accurate as far as the overworld is concerned. We're going to do some special tricks when it comes to things like command blocks, because as we all know, the inside of Pokehouses is always bigger than the outside of Pokehouses. So we're going to see if we can't get into what we call the double ends, which is where you have the building on the outside, but as soon as you try to get in, it transports you somewhere else, probably directly below, underground, right where you were, to get inside the house. That way it's always giving that Doctor Who TARDIS effect that it's always bigger on the inside. Then we got major geographic areas, like we're going to build up the mountains, because in the top north of that Hoenn map was stuff, and then we've got the oceans all off in the southeast kind of thing. Of course, we're going to try as much as possible to keep it like Hoenn. Definitely the places are going to be the same. You're going to know the routes are going to look the same. But we're going to put our own SPG flair on things. We're going to try to make every village as distinct as possible. And while the buildings themselves won't look exactly like they do in either the original or the first ones, we're going to put our own spin on it. So you will be able to readily identify, oh, I'm in Petalburg. That kind of thing is where we're going with this. So as you can see, we've got our own little system built up. That kind of stuff. Some of the things that we want to get through, because we're going to be doing this for weeks and weeks, but we want to have as many specialized episodes as possible, and some of them we're going to go through MC Edit. How do we use MC Edit to both replicate, and once we have certain, like a Pokemart, once we have a Pokemart built, we really don't want to vary kind of the way it goes, so we're going to be able to use MC Edit to help us move a Pokemart from one city to the next. It's also going to help us do things like build the major oceans and all sorts of stuff. So we will get into using MC Edit. We just talked about we want to make sure that Pokemon are able to spawn in certain areas. Just like we were noticing on Pokeballers, you have to go to the right route in order to collect the right Pokemon. We're going to get into how to use a Pokemon spawner in order to localize what Pokemon are where. We don't want any of the extra Pokemon as well. As much as we like the first-gen Pokemon, they don't belong in regular Hoenn. You've got to go special places for them. We also have to talk about how to customize the gym trainers, as well as just regular trainers themselves along the routes, where to find them, what they're going to have, those kind of things. Poke Loot, as in getting those boxes out there, and how to customize what specifically goes in them. And even if you want to tweak it to how often you can get those. Some of those you can maybe get every single day. Some of you can get them once in a while. We'll get into that. And of course, this is a Minecraft thing first and foremost, so we want to get into how we're building certain things when we get into the building of the towns, building of the gyms. We're going to try to make it really kind of Minecrafty. Even though this is a Pokemon Pixelmon based thing, we want to make sure that we don't lose the Minecraftiness of it. And of course, as always, we get the whole SPG game in there and do some playtesting to see how things are going. So thanks so much, and hopefully you guys will join us as soon as we get this started.
I'm gonna be the very best, like no one ever was. To find them is my real test, to tame them is my cause. I will travel across Minecraft, searching